Hello, this is video 2 of 6. We continue on the Long Hollow Road. We're going to the community of Coolidge, where when we go around the curve, the road from Long Hollow Road separates to the Cedar Creek Road. Excuse me. We just passed a crew working on the road to the left. The most damage that I have seen so far is erosion on the Long Hollow Road. When we get into the community of Coolidge, we'll go around that steep curve and be on Cedar Creek Road. During this series of videos, I'll be going down a bunch of county roads. I started this video about it was either 1:30 or 1:45. And I recorded it on June the 11th, 2019. I don't know exactly how much damage was caused by the flash flood event in Campbell County. Eventually, someone will write an article, a real good article, about the parts of the county that were impacted more than others. Well, let me put it this way. I hope someone does that because it would be interesting to read about some of the other places, because the only thing I know, I was in North Carolina when this happened. If I had been here when it happened, I would have tried to get some video. But I've been talking about this for a long time, and when it finally happened, I was in another state. And like I said on video 1, this is video 2 of 6. Most of the information that I got in North Carolina was from my wife, Pat. She's got an iPhone with a connection to her Facebook account. And she would, when something new was posted, she would bring it and show it to me. I stopped several times. I don't know exactly how many times. I was kind of paranoid about my GoPro. Also, when traffic would back up behind me, I always try to let them go around. The fisheye effect on this GoPro gives you an illusion that you're going a lot faster than you really are. But I was paranoid about my GoPro. When I mentioned this before, but when I was over in Rugby, I did one of these road videos where I went down most of all the streets at Rugby. And when I got back home, I had nothing on my GoPro. So it has a tendency to stop for some reason or another. It's got a remote function. I don't know if it picks up a signal and pauses or what the problem is, but anyway, that's why I pulled over there to check it out. Now we're going to go around the curve that I was telling you about, and now we're on the Cedar Creek Road, leaving the Coolidge community. We'll stay on the Cedar Creek Road until we get to the Alder Springs Road. This video will end, I think it ends just before we get to the entrance to Deerfield. If I sound like I'm kind of confused, I am a little bit. When you have 6 of these clips and you're reviewing them, which I normally do before I put the audio behind them, I check the ending, and I think this one ends just before we get to the entrance to Deerfield. So we're on Alder Springs Road, and eventually we'll get on Chapman Road, which goes up to Deerfield. Deerfield is a gated community. They have a security guard up there that checks you in. So we didn't go into Deerfield. I turned around. I'm driving my smart car, and I can turn this thing on a dime. And that's what I did. This is Alder Springs Road, and then we'll get on Chapman Road, and I'll turn around and come back and get back on Alder Springs Road and go to Springs Dock. Norris Lake is beautiful this time of the year. We have a lot of people visiting the county from Ohio. You see a lot of Ohio cars, Ohio license plates. You see a lot of Kentucky plates. Some people come here each year to spend their vacation. And that's understandable because Norris Lake is one of the cleanest lakes in the Tennessee Valley chain. And at this time of the year, the TVA lets the lake back up. It's into the tree line, which you don't see the mud bank that you see in the wintertime. And it is just absolutely a spectacular area and a huge lake. And if you like water sports, especially boating, it's perfect. In fact, if you're watching this video and you've never been in this area and you like boating, I would suggest you plan a vacation trip to Campbell County and Norris Lake. Norris Lake enters other counties, but Campbell County's got access to a lot of excellent boat docks, like this one that we're going to, Springs Dock. We're on the Cedar Creek Road. We're in an area that isn't populated. I don't know really why in through here, unless it's the lay of the land. And I just happened to think about it when I noticed from this point to the bridge, you don't see a lot unless the houses are located behind the foliage. But anyway, that's not that important. We'll go across the Cedar Creek Bridge, and if you'll look to the right, there's quite a few boats docked in and near the bridge. That's a popular spot for people to gather. I've been across that bridge when there were so many boats docked that you would think that that was a boat dock. So evidently it's a gathering place for people on vacation with their boats. Anyway, The bottom line is, if you want to spend some quality time on a lake, you would be hard-pressed to find any place prettier or more pristine than the Norris Lake area, mainly because we don't have a lot of large industry in and around the lake. It's mainly, here's the Cedar Creek Bridge. You can see some of the boats docked over there, not near as many as in past years when I came through. But most of the things that you'll find around this lake are homes. Beautiful, beautiful homes. If you get in a boat and you travel on Norris Lake, you will see some beautiful houses. It's a popular place. And it is really an industry for Campbell County. So we're fortunate to have all the houses that have been built. There's so many different areas with names, it would be impossible to name them all. But Deerfield is one of the premier places. They have a golf course. They have a... Look at this church. I noticed it looks like it had been freshly painted white. But they have an airport up there. I don't know the length of the runway. I can remember back before Deerfield became a place, the guy that owned that land lived in a house up there, and he had an airplane, a 210, and he landed not where the airport is now, but in a different location. And I can remember going out there with a friend of mine. We flew a Cessna 150 and landed and picked up his Cessna 210 and flew it back to the Campbell County Airport. I think he was going to have an annual on his airplane. And I can remember that was the only time that I was in that location. And then years later, they developed it into Deerfield. But when you're my age, you've been around so long that you've been in a lot of these places when there were nothing there. Well, back then there was one house and it belonged to the guy. I don't want to mention names. If you're from around here, you know who I'm talking about. But he had a beautiful... I think the house is still there also. Now, we just turned on to Alder Springs Road off of Cedar Creek Road. And we're going to go up and hit Chapman Road, which is the road you would take if you were going to Deerfield. It'll be video 3 of 6 where I turn around just before you go into the entrance to Deerfield. Beautiful area. And it just so happened that this day was just perfect for doing a road video. The secret of doing these videos is around noontime, because the sun is in a position to where it's not right in your camera lens, which a GoPro does a fairly good job of handling. But I'd rather do one of these videos I'd rather do one of these videos when the sun is high in the sky. We're on Alder Springs Road, and here shortly we will be getting on Chapman Road. And then video 2 of 6 will end. And then on 3 of 6, I turn around just before you enter Deerfield. I'm looking at my notes. I can't believe how many roads and streets that I covered in these 6 videos. I have 2 columns of names, and I'm going to try to tell you each one as we get on the road. Looks like this road has been paved. Here's where we get on Chapman Road. This is the road to Deerfield. And video 2 of 6 will end shortly. I hope you enjoy these road videos. I enjoy doing them. The work comes when you bring them back to your computer room and place the audio, because I don't use music anymore on road videos. And I never know what I'm going to say. I don't really map out anything. I just watch the video, and whatever comes to my mind, that's what I say. Sometimes I have to start over because I say the wrong thing.